I'd like to welcome everyone on the call today. It's good to see so many leaders uh, from so many different teams, all within the Cloud Token. And I want to start off the call by saying we're all in this together, guys. We're all building this community together. And it's great to see so many teams engaging together. This is what it's all about, guys. We're all in Cloud Token. We're here for to help build this ecosystem into what we believe is going to be something special. Today, we're all fortunate enough and privileged to have Ronald to come on the call. So what we're going to do, guys, we have some questions prepared by the community. Ronald has answered a lot in the past few days, so we're going to try to ask some different questions as well. So let's start. Okay, Ronald, the first question is, in the past 2 weeks, we had some issue around the memory pool. And then in the past few days, we had some issue with two-step authentication. And also sometimes it's saying it's busy, come back later. Can you explain in a technical way, in detail, what's happening and also what's the solution as we scale forward?
Okay, one of the solutions that we had, let me rephrase it. In the actual solution, what happened was we actually had one wallet address that actually sends out the conversions to users' address when they actually do a Ethereum conversion. But because there are too many unrealized transactions, what happens is the memory pool gets full, okay? And when it's full, the account for the Ethereum wallet gets locked, okay? When it gets locked, you can't do anything until the transaction is realized on chain. And when it frees up, then only the wallet can be used again. So to solve this, we actually need to create more accounts, okay? Now, when we actually create more accounts, which means that we need to have more assets like Ethereum to be placed in each of these wallet accounts, right? And each of these wallet accounts itself, because there's so much of withdrawals, doesn't matter if it's a 0.1 Ethereum or 1 Ethereum or 2 Ethereum, whatever number it is, it needs to wait, okay? So we have 20 accounts now, 20 Ethereum wallets. Just imagine, each wallet we put in 500 Ethereums times 20. That's how much we need to put inside there. And the maximum is 500 is because we have to scale it in such a way that we can't put 10,000 for each, right? So where are we going to find the Ethereums to actually trade, right? So whatever's in this pool itself, we can't use to trade, right? So that is the problem now. We have to make sure that it is enough Ethereums inside there to actually handle the conversions, and we need to have enough assets to actually trade. So that is the calculation or the balance that we need to find. Then what happened was I actually told the team that this cannot happen. It's actually quite of a waste. Okay, so what we did was we actually used Binance itself as the withdrawal, the wallet to actually send this Ethereums out, okay? Because Binance itself would have the mechanism to actually handle it through one account itself. Then that's the problem when it came out when the Binance locked 5 of our accounts, right? Which you guys know about it, right? I told you guys. So what happened then was our lawyers actually sent a letter to them, and they unlocked it, but it was like, 7 days, 8 days later, right? In total, from day one they lock until the time they release, it's about 10 days. So in this 10 days time, what we had to do was we have to break a contract with our second trader. We have 3 altogether, plus us is 4. We have to break one of the contracts because it's a forward contract that we actually have to break, and it causes a lot of problems. Because when we break the trading account this way, we will lose the revenue for that particular month, Okay, so we actually got the assets out to actually put into all these wallets for the withdrawal. So that was how we went. We went back from a previous solution with 20 wallets, then down to Binance, which actually solved things, but Binance locked our account because of the bad press. Okay, which we are asking for the damages from them, and then we moved back because it was locked, so we still need to pay out for the withdrawals and the conversions. So we went back to the 20 wallet mode again. So now it's back at the 20 wallet mode. Okay.
Okay, and regarding Binance and what they've done. What's going forward? What's the relationship like? Will they do it again to us? Are we going to move somewhere else? Is there some thoughts around this?
What happened was we are starting to move our funds out from Binance into another exchange, a more friendly exchange. We have got actually, I'm not sure whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. OK has been following the event. OK messaged us to say that they are willing to offer us home and with free fee. That's what OK is offering. And CEX is offering us as well a free fee to actually to be in the network. But there's a big problem with this too. OK and CEX. Number one is their trade volume is not that high. So what who we are talking to now is with the rest of the bigger ones like the token and Coinbase, GDAX, and the rest. So we're talking to these few guys. We cannot talk to BitMax because they are part of the Binance team as well. So we're not talking to them. And the rest. So we're actually trying to spread our assets to more other exchanges. At the same time, we are looking at other alternatives in the crypto space to actually get revenue. One of the things that is actually what we have been playing with or researching is through Compound Finance and Celsius Network, plus a group of other exchanges, which is actually performing their lending system itself. And the yield itself is not that great, actually, but it can really help a lot. We're talking about 19% to 21% if we were to accrue the 10 different networks together, that's per year. So you're talking about maybe 2%, or maybe 1.78% per month or so. So that is what we are actually doing for Rogue to actually test it out. That's one thing that we are doing. But actually, hopefully, we can actually get a secure answer from the token or the GDAX itself to have a contract with them, which our lawyers are working out with to ensure that this thing don't really happen again, and to actually make the matter much more easier. Our lawyers already sent a letter for damages to Binance, and we are now in talks with Binance on this. So it's $1 million a day. So we are asking for damages of 10 million from them.
And did they release? Are the accounts still blocked as we stand now?
No, they already released it about a week or 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. Yeah.
Okay, so the funds are okay. And no, and the last thing on this topic is that when people are having an issue right now with two-step authentication, or there's too much traffic, what does that mean right now?
Okay, we have already switched to the new. Okay, what happened was this, right? The 2FA uses HMAC. HMAC is hardware authentication on your phone plus a time. The problem with that was because we switched servers, the time stamp was a bit different. So when the timestamp is different, it did not match the initial the pairing. So there was a small problem there, but the engineers actually fixed it. So if it happens again, the easier fix is to first contact us as the CS. They will actually unbind it for you, then you just bind it again, then it will be fine. So first unbind it, then bind it again, then you'll be okay.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Ronald, for the answer. I've got another question to you. A lot of people asking, how are we protected from the hackers? We're talking about wallet, for example, our application, also about the blockchain 4.0 and the systems and the funds. How we protected by the hackers?
Okay, first is we talk about the funds itself. Okay, the funds itself are all 100% in exchanges. So if the exchange get hacked, we can actually ask for damages from the exchange. So as I said earlier on, we only look for exchange which has insurance funds. Binance is not a lot, up to 70% of our whatever asset we have. So which is also one of the reasons why we are still parking about maybe 30% or 20%, 25%, 30% of the assets in there. And the rest of it is with the rest of the capital investment houses, 3 of them. Okay, and they will actually guarantee our funds from there itself. Now, for the application-wise itself, we have 3 tiers of authentication. The most important one is the 2FA itself. Now, without the 2FA, you can't transfer any funds out. Okay. The second one is actually using the card to actually log in. So you don't expose your password and such like that. The third one is actually using Cloudflare, which is the web application firewall that is actually handled by a third-party service which all banks and big corporations actually use, which is Cloudflare. In order for the hacker to actually hack you, they need to know a few things. Number one is they need to know what is the IP address that you're actually hitting. But what Cloudflare does is actually mask our IP so that the hackers won't even know where is the destination of the servers. Okay, and on our blockchain side, which is the lower layer itself, because Ore itself is not an open source yet. Okay, there are not much information about it as well. So the probability of it getting hacked is actually very low because we are the only one actually using it. So it's actually a closed source private infrastructure that we're using. And yeah, that's the best answer that I can actually give you now.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay, so Ronald, as we grow in the community and as we grow as the project, we're getting bigger and bigger. And obviously, as the project matures, it's very evident to all of us that you're the main guy leading the project, and that comes then with a question that: what if anything happens, Ronald? What if something unfortunate happened? Like, how does the project continue? And what will it look like for everybody else that's in the community?
Okay, as I actually answered this question many times, even though when I'm in Poland or when I was in Korea or Taiwan, this has been brought up, especially because they find I'm the only one that actually is standing up to the project and actually pushing things through. So evidently, I'm the target for a lot of things. And one of the things that in order for us to move on is the business continuity side of this particular business itself. Like any businesses, okay, we need to have a business continuity plan. And one of the things that we have actually engaged the lawyers to help us do is to have this corporate conformity to really handle all of this, and also it's actually good as well because in order to get the CSR license, we needed to actually conform to the ISO 27001, which is the security part of the servers, the software, and there's a part inside there which is called business continuity plan. Okay, And what is instructed for us to do is, in case, okay, if let's say our servers in Amazon blows up, okay, what happens? Okay, so now we actually have three set of data centers that is 50 kilometers away from each other. They're all cloud servers. So the provider itself would cover us from that. And the second thing is the person, okay, the people that is actually running the business itself. Like for me itself, if in case that something happens to me, what happens to all the funds? Who can actually access these funds? All right. So there's only 3 persons in the world that can actually handle this fund. Me, the lawyer, okay, in case if something bad happens to me, the lawyer has a set of keys, the 2 FA keys to actually access the Binance account, okay, and there's one more with the operations person that is actually in charge of the payouts and the withdrawals and the conversions, which he's doing now. Okay, so only 3 of us has these keys. But in order for that person, in order for him to actually send out any funds, okay, I have to approve it, and the third person has to actually approve it. So one is for approving, okay, without any keys, and one is actually for the key handling. So that is how it's being handled now for business continuity on our part. But in terms of engineering side, I'm not actually handling a lot of engineering. The engineering is handled by the engineer leaders itself. We have actually 3 teams now to actually handle engineering. One of it is in actually Malaysia, KL, which is going to be in the Q Central office soon. They will move there. We actually just bought over a company that actually, as I told you, that that has done eToro and IQ options. That is actually for the Friday Cesar project, and that is also a team in KL. Then we have a team in Vietnam, actually, that is handling the exchanges. They are actually located in Landmark, very close to the cloud office as well. And the last team is actually, which we just cancelled off, which is the SQ2 team. We just cancelled off them. But half of the SQ2 team members left with me back into YFC. So the YFC team itself now is in Singapore, sharing the same office as SQ2, but only until the meantime, when our office is ready in Q Central, they'll all move over. So that is what is being done. In terms of engineering, we are fully covered. In terms of direction, probably I'm the only one, but in case that it goes for me, there's a game plan. I really wrote down the game plan, and I've been sharing this game plan with all the members, all the leaders, what we need to do and what are the steps to actually do it. And each of these entities, for example, like Cloud SIM, they have their leader, they have their own operations leader to actually handle that particular each portion itself. For Friday, for Javis, for Rogue, for the operation side, each of them have their own leader to actually do it. It's just that we need a bit more time to actually get the whole entire team to be moving smoothly. But I think we have been doing quite well for the last 3 months, which you guys can actually see the results that we are moving quite fast with the prepaid card, the SIMs, and the rest of it is all coming out. Well, basically that's what we have actually done, and hopefully we can actually do more given more time.
Okay, very good answer. Thank you. Thank you. Ronald, everybody, they are so thankful for yourself and for your team for doing amazing job with the trading, with the arbitrage, that we can earn 6, 7, 8% a month. We know that's for you a lot of time, for your team, a lot of strategies, full head of thinking about BTC, about the other cryptocurrencies. My question is, and the questions that's coming from other members, we're getting paid 6, 7, 8% a month now. Okay, how long we can we're thinking how long we can get this kind of earnings? Let's say 1 year more, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. This is what people wants to know. Or maybe we strategy after, let's say, after 1 year or 6 months, when we have, for example, Javis is full, no more people joining Javis. Okay, to make your head a little bit more relaxed, let's say everybody will get 3% or 4% per month. Everybody will happy. Everybody will be, more relaxed, more sustainable product. That's the question. How long we can expect this kind of earnings?
Okay, it's a very good question. I've been asked this question 2 times today. One is with the Venezuelan team, Vladimir, that Paul knows as well, and also from the Chinese team that I actually had an interview this morning. Very straightforward question. How long can this last? And is it economically sustainable? These are the 2 main things that a lot of people are very concerned about. And one thing that I always say is we have already noticed that the sustainability of paying 18.4% a month is actually very heavy toll on us itself. We have to work very, very hard to earn 0.7% a day, okay, to actually hit 21% in order for the whole entire engine to move. So we have enough money to pay Amazon, Azure, the Cloudflare, and various things, office, people, and all the rest. We have to make 21% a month, and it is 0.7% a day, which is very, very tiring, okay? But the cool thing is, Javis don't need to earn all 21%, okay? It's split between 4 parties, okay? We have, like, for example, Snap Innovations, which is based in Singapore, one of our contract capital fund investors based in Singapore. They're doing arbitrage trading, and they can offer us about 6% a month. So you have 21 minus 6, okay? Then we have Big Cross, which is based in the States, okay? That is giving us a very cool 7 to 8%. Okay, so you're talking about 13 is there, all right? And the last, I cannot share the name because they are very, they screw me up every time I say that name.
Ron, you can tell me after the call. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you after the call. When you stop recording, I'll tell you them. They are actually based in London, but their offices are throughout the world. They have in Hong Kong, Singapore, and in London. Very big company, and they are doing 13% for us.
Wow!
Right. So yeah, but we are taking a huge risk because 13% is actually a non risk guaranteed product. So I know that we're taking a risk to actually do that, but that's the only way we can actually cover the hole that was created by the previous leaders from cloud. They've been paying out. It's not 18%. They're paying out up to 20, 30% at the beginning. It's really crazy. So we actually have to do that in order to cover, which we actually managed to actually cover back the hole. That's why now we're not afraid that there's not enough to pay out. Okay, that's why I say in October it's a celebration event because finally we did the impossible. So it's a kind of to pat ourselves on the back to say that yes, you've done something really great here. So that's one of the things. But we are trying to move down from that into a more sustainable, a more risk-free investment. So probably that will drop up to about 6%. So we have 2, 6, and 1, 7. That will be good enough for us to actually do the payout. That's 19, right?
Okay. Thanks.
And not including ourselves.
Yeah, because
That's what you do.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of people new on the call, and there's a lot of people probably wouldn't aware. Like when you fully took over the project, if any of us were here at the start, guys, you probably can recall we were getting about 10 to 12% a month.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's really crazy. Yeah.
that payout, guys, was like, let's say there sometimes was 40% being paid out. So when Ronald and the team took over the project fully, obviously they ran the numbers, did everything. This is when Ronald really took the role and the team that was there, and then they did a calculation. And you can see right now it's about 6%, 6 to 12. So they've actually brought it up, consolidated, brought it all together, made a proper the system. So right now, guys, as Ronald said, like, you know, they've done a huge job in a few months, and that's when you saw Ronald taking over, that's when you saw transparency. That's when you saw the Binance accounts. That's when you started seeing everything in the system, and everybody started getting credibility. So that's what's been done, guys. In just, Ronald, correct me if I'm wrong. How long did you take over the whole project? As in yourself?
There was a big toggle in March. April, they were still fighting over it, but we took a stand. And in May, actually, the beginning of May. So at that time, we only had 10 days to actually register Cloud Token Australia. As you can see that the registration date was 10th of May, and our event was 12th of May.
So guys, what you can see there is that, like, when we all joined earlier on, and you can see like the honesty that Ronald's relaying to you here. And basically when we went out and met Ronald, a lot of us on this call would have joined around then, April, May. And then when Ronald took over, we all had a meeting at that event, and Ronald basically outlined what he was going to do, what happened with the people that moved on, and what's going to happen with the people that stayed. And guys, I think we're all happy to say in the past 4 months what's been achieved and the direction it is going. And another question we asked Ronald as well, like, because a lot of people are talking about withdrawals. If every single person in the system converts their cloud token to Ethereum and everyone runs the project, the funds are there for everybody to be paid out, okay? And plus, we won't give the figure, but there's a huge excess there for the company too. So that's why Ronald says, we did it. We've got to the level we had, and we reshaped the company. So guys, that's fantastic. So Ronald, next question. I know you've answered this many times, but we want to ask this question again because there's many people on the call just joined Cloud Token. And okay, question. What is the vision of the company for the next 3 years? How many members do you want versus how many users do you want? And the last part of this question, what's the plan to achieve this?
Okay, I believe that this question was targeted for me to expose a lot of stuff. Okay, so we have a vision for a 3-year plan to actually to build up to 100 million customers with 1.5 million networkers to engage or to sign up 20 million merchants. Okay, these are not numbers that I plug up from the air. These are the numbers which we calculated that it would give us a yield of about 10 billion in terms of capital. Our net worth would be about 10 million. So we are going to be a unicorn in 3 years' time, and no VCs. Okay, so how are we going to achieve 100 million members? That is a very, very good question. Through Cloud SIM itself, Cloud SIM is going to be a service whereby users are able to put in small funds. For example, if you were to put in $10 or $1 a day, that's $30 a month, and you have a chance to actually deduct or reduce the amount that you pay for your SIM, your SIM service. And by the time you actually accrued up to about $100, okay, you are probably able to get a 4 gig service for usage a month for free. And at the end of the term of this, for example, especially targeted for migrant workers, they can actually take back their entire invested amount, and yeah, they get the service for free. So basically how we do it is through compound financing, as I said earlier on, whereby we take their invested assets to actually roll, to actually borrow to other exchanges or other traders who needs these assets to do short-term loan trading. And from that itself, we can actually hit about 2%, 3% a month, okay, from there. So it is going to attract, when you have some sort of a free SIM data service, it will attract people, all right? And in Malaysia alone, there's 6 million registered migrant workers. Non-registered, probably another 4. So you've got 10 million of them there. And you're talking about, not Thailand itself, registered is about 4 million migrant workers. Non-registered, probably you have about 8 or 9. So that is already about 20 million. And in Singapore itself, 1.3 registered migrant workers, probably about 1.5. And all this actually is about 20 million from there. Not to mention in Dubai. So you have all the Indians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, and all around the world. Okay, we are only targeted at all this. But when all of these people use it for free, I believe that we are the biggest MVNO in Southeast Asia. Okay, and this will actually attract many people to actually use the SIM, and from that itself, probably to get another 80 million people to join in the next 3 years. It's a walk in the park. Then one of the cool things about this 20 million migrant workers are every month end, they will have to send money back home, right? That's a remittance, and that is where all the merchants comes in. The merchants itself, which is being signed up by the network marketers, okay, they become cash points. And all these cash points now, all these merchants, okay, they are like banks. They're like ATM machines, right? Where, let's give you this, I'll give you this scenario, right? At a particular village in, let's say, Vietnam or Jakarta, or Indonesia, okay, just Indonesia alone, all right? Some small village, there's no bank access. So everyone keeps their money underneath their pillow. But there are a lot of shops or merchants around, small merchants. And this merchant somehow, one of the members signs them up, okay? And this merchant itself were to go to town to actually bank in the money, okay? So what happens is, the merchant itself can actually collect the money from these people, and without going to the bank, they can actually give Ethereums to these people, or these unbanks, and the Ethereums which this unbank gets, they can put into Rogue or Javis, which actually gives them more yield. And they are not locked down. The money is not locked down. The asset is not locked down. They can still use these assets, either in CTO or Ethereum, to actually buy stuff from the merchants. All right. So immediately we turn this unbanked to financially included. Okay. Unbanked does not mean that they have no money. Unbanked means that that's just not included. Okay, because bank has no access to them. It costs too much for banks to actually start up a branch, and the logistics is just terrible. But because all of them have mobile phones, and they are all using the cloud SIMs now, right? Mm-hmm. So the kids that is working overseas can actually just send Ethereums or CTOs back home, and the parents can go to the convenient the merchants to actually cash out. And what is it in for the merchants? When the merchants do a conversion, as you know, the cheapest or the peer-to-peer trade for cryptocurrency is 2%. The buyer will pay 1%, the seller will pay 1%, right? So the merchant now gets 1% from doing this. And this is actually increasing their revenue. So you tell me any payment solution, gateway, or whatever that is in the market now, who actually pays the merchant? It's always the merchant paying the merchant discount rate. They're paying more to actually execute a transaction. Now, when they execute our transaction, they get money, they get more. And it's economically sustainable.
Wow.
So this is just mind-blowing. Just take a minute to really just imagine that, right? If we will cover India, Thailand, Vietnam. Vietnam has 100 million in population. And how many unbanked? I think Ellie would know. It's about 70-80%. All right? You're talking about 70 million people that has no access to bank accounts. And now suddenly all of them use their mobile phones. They can travel. They can do anything. All right? And it's frankly not illegal. It's because, number one, is we're still putting the money back into the local financial system, right? So I think the government will love this as well. Okay, we are actually helping them evolutionize their villages without them lifting a finger.
Amazing stuff. Ronald, next question. When will the audit take place with cloud? We spoke previously about another third party coming in, and also the second part of that question, following from the audit, you also spoke in Poland about the dashboard being implemented within the application, and give people a flavor what that will look like, what they can expect to see, and so forth.
Before I actually go into that, I'd like to tell everyone how we actually choose what to build first. What is our priority? The first priority is to help members all get wealth. So anything that is regarding wealth generation, that will be the highest in the list. Okay, for example, Javis, Rogue, Friday, all of this merchant affiliate programs. All of this will be in the highest priority. We'll do all this first. The second one is actually the ecosystem, things that has done with the merchant program, the POS, the OTC, the OTA, the Grab integration, and all of this we will put into the second priority. And the only third priority things are what looks nice and what we need to prove to people and all of the things. Then that is the last on our list. But after coming back from Poland, I believe that it's actually needed to actually do this. So after we finish after we are done with the wealth generation, the good news is Rogue is about to be completed. And one of the things that we wanted to do for Rogue was to implement it for the October 5th event. So from actually it's supposed to be today. We will call it the Mid-Autumn program. So anyone can actually just put in like $1 USDT in there, and you get into a running to win the October 5th tickets. So every day we will find winners for that. And from the $1 investment in this pool, we actually will tell how much we actually gain from there. So we wanted to demo this, but the team itself said that let's keep it to be a new shocker or a new excitement thing when we do really launch Rogue out later on. So that will be one of the things. One more cool thing that we have actually made a pact with is, you know, the debit cards, the prepaid cards that we are launching at the event.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, you need CTOs to actually to stake it, right? So one of the smart engineers, he actually did something which was really cool. So it was just yesterday night. What happened was he managed to find a way to lock resources like Ethereum that you actually put into Javis. So you can actually have overdraft facilities, even though it's a prepaid. So let's say if you put CTOs that is worth, let's say $500, okay, into the card, and somehow you need to use 700, okay? And when you swipe your card, and if you have the overdraft facility option on, we will let you swipe up to 700. So if you have, let's say 500 in Javis, right? We will lock that 500 in Javis until you put back the 200. With Ethereum or whatever, yeah. So if it's Bitcoin, then it's good. If it goes up, then it's free 200 for you.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. A prepaid card that has overdraft facilities that has never been heard of before.
and for everybody on the call, what's the safety of these cards? Because in our industry, anybody who's come with a prepaid card before, I used a company like PayPal, we all know something called chargebacks, and they could actually take a company out of business. So a lot of us in this industry over time would be concerned about these kind of cards. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, one of the things that prepaid cards cannot do is any that is not accepted everywhere. You must understand. Places like, for example, when you're on the plane, right? And the plane obviously has no internet connection, so you can't use the card to actually buy stuff online on the plane. Anything that's online, probably you can. But if you were to use it on Stripe, Stripe will reject these type of cards outright. So one of the things is that it's actually blocked from a lot of these sites that it's blocked from these sites that actually will incur a lot of chargebacks. But if there is a chargeback, okay, well, we know who the user is, and we'll just block your CTOs.
Okay. Another question here, okay, is that, okay, I'm going to read this one over here. People believe, right, in general, that trading alone isn't sustainable. You kind of touched on this while ago. Long term, right, people will start to become concerned hearing something. Let me rephrase this. People, I'll say it in my own words. People regarding trading are looking at the project and everything is related to trading. You said previously before, once funds come in, within 6 hours they go trading, because I know you do velocity trading, is the speeding of pairs. You worry about quantity, you don't worry about the price. No, so the question, will the project look at other aspects that's completely different, different, like the trading completely, and actually split the portfolio, like one example, just properties or something where there's income coming in?
It's a super good question, because it was also asked before this morning as well. This lady is quite amazing, right? She's a Chinese, not educated, but has been doing network marketing for 40 plus years. And she was the first batch that's doing it in China, and then got kicked out and went to Dubai and made tons. And the question she asked was like that as well. So are we looking at other source of revenues, okay, other than trading? Okay, very straightforward question. The thing is, yes, we are. But we want to keep it in the crypto circle, okay? Because crypto itself, if you look at it this way, right, a lot of things has changed 1 year ago and 1 year now. 1 year ago, let's say look at 2017, okay? Margin, lending, option, it's not available. 2018, you have options, you have margin trading, you have lending, right? So all of this, actually, we are taking traditional money and putting back into the crypto world to expand its size, okay? Which I think is good. So in terms of trading, making money from trading itself, I believe that it's a long more way to go, and it's actually becoming much better because the pool now is bigger. Okay, there are much more traditional funds all coming in now, which can come in now, and the acceptance from countries to countries now. If you're talking about in 2017, countries would just outright say no. Okay, you can't do this, and everybody's doing it underground, gray, and things like that. In China itself, they kicked out Binance. Binance went to Japan, and then they found out that the FSA charges them an arm and a leg. Then they went to Malta, right? Just look at it this way. But now, China say, please come back. Please come back. They said, sorry, I'm not a Chinese citizen anymore, kind of thing, right? So, yeah, countries are beginning to learn that it's a cultural revolution, right? Blockchain is a cultural revolution. It changes the way people think and how you can actually control. So the countries, governments itself are starting to realize this, and laws are bent or added to actually cater a lot for this, which we believe that a lot in this crypto space is going to be a second boom coming soon. Okay, we just need one country to actually say that, hey, this is what we're going to do, let's go and do it. Then everybody start to jump on board, right? But most of these countries are looking for a spark. And we believe that in Cloud Token, we can give them this standard operating procedure. This is how you can do it. We have 100 million users around the world, 1.5 million network marketers, 20 million merchants. We are trading 10 billion a day. Okay, what else you want? This is the blueprint. Take it, run it. Right?
But would you like as you but as we expand and as we grow with the numbers that you're talking about, would from a company perspective, would you not look at like other like assets like properties? I know there's other markets in the world that are growing now. I know it's trading and crypto is where we're at, and blockchain, of course. But would you be open? I'm just saying open to looking somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, we would actually look into other things, but in terms of properties and things like that, which we might not look at it in the short term. But when we have other C5 leaders from the field joining us, of course, as I said earlier on in April, when we first took over, we will actually have a committee, and the committee is headed by the C5 or directors itself to handle every project that goes into Javis that the community can undertake. Okay, so the C5 leader that is actually in, for example, he found a very good project, which is, for example, a cultural village somewhere in, let's say, I don't know, in China somewhere, okay, that is trying to raise $1 billion, okay, and he's ready to undertake this. So the rest of the directors in the company itself can actually do a due diligence on it, and yeah, and then the project can come in after the due diligence is done. So we're going to set up a committee that is comprising of the biggest leaders in the industry to actually make all these decisions. For me to do, I'm actually trying already, you know, on the beginning to run through to trial to how to get a consensus, right? By saying that, you know, do I say that I put a minimum cap of withdrawal from 500 CTOs and above, and all people say no, and then they tell me, you know, we're actually doing something like that. But of course, in the long run, we try to make everyone to be involved in this, because it's not just putting money in Javis, getting money, and then going out. There's no, you gain nothing from here. What we want to do is to actually get everyone together to participate in this venture, go on to this journey, actually make a decision for how the ship is going to go. So yeah, we are a big ship itself, and we have a lot of noise, definitely, yes. But if we just get the consensus of the general direction that we're moving, so basically that's what I hope that we can actually achieve on. Whether we're going to move into a property market or move into, I don't know, maybe some other kind of investment and things like that. At this moment, for me, a no. We will stick on with crypto, but not just only trading. Crypto has many different things inside there. But something to do with crypto financing, yes, we will actually look into it, and we will get consensus from the market, okay, to see whether do we want to do this or not. Yeah, it's everyone's decision. So it's everyone's company, as I say from the beginning. Everyone can have a say, yes or no, and we will evaluate.
Okay.
Thank you. Ronald, before I start another question, I want to just come back to the earnings, 6%, 7%, 8% a month, because some people asking me just now, because we've been involved in different kind of programs before. And let's say we trading and we receive about 6%, 7% a month now. So let's say in the future, your trading will go a little bit down. Then we start to earn 3%, 4% a month. Is it possible or no? Because I know in most of the programs, if the earnings daily earnings go down, it means company doesn't have money. So we need to clarify with everybody. If the earnings go down, it means, for example, you earn this day or this month less. It doesn't mean that you have less money. I want the clarification because some people don't understand.
Yeah, it's a very good question, Matthias. And one of the things that I want to point out is trading is only one part of how cloud is actually getting revenue. That is why we actually added in Cloud SIM to actually get revenue from there itself. Remember, the 100 million customers, they are not getting CTOs, all right? They are actually paying to get service, and this service we earn money, all right? And all this actually is profit. So that's one. You just imagine a telco that's 100 million subscribers. Who has that besides China, besides the Axiata group, which is a group of telcos. India, you're talking about Reliance, Vodafone, which is 300 million. Not much. So if you're 100 million, we are the top 5, right?
So the 100 million people will be helping us to getting more CTO and sustain.
That's one.
Very good.
Then we have our 20 million merchants. That itself, we get 1% from each trade, right? That is another source of revenue.
Very good, very good. My another question is regarding the Explorer of 4th generation blockchain, because we're talking about this for many months. People believe this, but people also wants to see it. You just said a few minutes ago, for you, it's very important to generate the wealth for the members. But some members saying, or I will say even more, most of the members saying, okay, to generate the wealth, people need to believe more in the project. So that's why they're asking to release the blockchain Explorer for this 4th generation blockchain, that we see the transactions, because we've got CTO, and people even sent to me just now, they saying, oh, listen, CTO is based on Ethereum blockchain, okay? We generated, there is 4 wallets in there, how is possible? Maybe there is no other blockchain, maybe it's only what was created on Etherscan. So basically, when people see on the Aura blockchain, between people sending CTO, this is making people to believe. So people asking when the latest this work.
Yeah, to answer this question, as I also promised in Poland that we will actually release this as soon as we finish the first wave of the wealth generation projects, which our engineers have already started. Then we will pull our next available resources to actually build the dashboard for CTO. And just a bit to touch more on that, right? I believe that because this project itself, we started on the wrong foot, and we do not have enough education materials for the marketers, the leaders, to actually educate the market of how it is. So a lot of times where you guys are fighting a war blind, and you get to only hear bits and pieces, and because you guys are really wonderful, you can really I mean for you, Paul, you guys really do a lot of research into what is real, because you know that it will come back to haunt you later. But a lot of leaders, they actually don't do it. So they just keep taking information from China and just lock, stock, barrel and just send it out. All right. A lot of this cause a lot of problems. We know about this. That is why this is one of the things that we are trying to fix here, which is through education. Because more and more, there are a lot of people that has been brainwashed by the other crypto wallet, which scam them in many ways. Just look at it this way, right? There are very big wallet players, big sevens, okay, in the China market, the big seven. The biggest one closed down a month ago, and then following suit, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and all really just collapsed. Okay, it created such a big bubble, and when you talk about 1 to 7, right, none of them actually has done things like us. No one actually stepped out and actually have so much of Zoom calls with you guys, get on Facebook, get on Twitter, get on WeChat to talk to the members, to engage with the members. And even the our current 5 leaders from China itself, they said that, what are you guys doing? Okay, this is not how the game is supposed to play. Ronald, you're supposed to be a unicorn. You're not supposed to show your face, Then people would want to see you, and then they will actually, come for events. And I say that, nah, actually, that's not the way we're going to be. What we want to be is we want to be as transparent as possible. Anything that happens, we need to tell the public. That's our way, and they finally listen to us on how things should be done. So, frankly, we need to educate the market, which is very important. And as I said, the dashboard, yes, is important. We will actually do that, and hopefully that can really help the leaders actually explain the misunderstanding that we are on ERC20. Actually, we are not. We never believe in a blockchain that requires you to pay gas. We never supported. We never want to support a blockchain platform that grew from pure greed. Okay, blockchain or Bitcoin was started not from greed but from a vision. The vision whereby everybody can use Bitcoin to trade without a value. It's like 1 Bitcoin or 2 Bitcoin or 0 point something Bitcoin for an Apple. All right, they never say that 0.1 Bitcoin is actually $1. Never was it done that way. And there's no way you can buy Bitcoins. You can only mine the coins. Okay, you need to work hard for it. So that is the whole concept. And greed came on. It actually corrupted how Bitcoin was by just pegging a pizza to it, and now everybody has a price, right? Then how Ethereum came on was a bunch of VCs, they invested in it, and then they wanted to have a price. So it grew from greed. So we never want to support a platform that grew from greed. Ore was designed to be free. Okay, there are many platforms that is designed to be free. There's many ways to stop people from spamming the network. And one of the things that is done that I actually admire is this project called IOTA. The way they actually stop they actually revolutionized how a gasless platform can be, and nobody can actually manipulate it or abuse it, because you need to actually perform 2 actions before you can actually send an action out, to send an operation out. So you're always doing more than you're actually sending out something to be done. And from that itself, we actually want to make it so that it's actually meant for financial institutions to use, not like Ripple, not like EOS. So yeah, that's why in CTO itself, we always never wanted it to be able to be bought. So it's not an ICO project. You'll never go on the exchange so that nobody can manipulate the price. And later, who knows? We already started giving CTOs as part of the salary to our own guys, and they accepted. Okay, so yeah, these are the things that we want to actually continue on the legacy of what the founder of Bitcoin wanted to do, but actually lost control of. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for that, Ronald.
Quite short answer is yes, we will do the blockchain dashboard.
We can't wait. Okay, a lot of people ask this. I know you answered it many times, but we'll ask again. Is there a separate money pool for salaries for employees that aren't actively sharing the wallet? People in customer service team or the macroing team, for example.
Yes, they are under a tree. The tree itself we built for them, and in this account itself, all the CDOs that it's actually accrued is actually cashed out at the end of the month, and they are being paid through that.
Okay, very good. And following from that, so because some people got mixed up with that, they thought they were in the structure of the tree themselves, building a tree themselves. So basically, what happened is that you and the team and some of the leaders, the founding leaders, have built a separate structure for them within the system, and they all get paid from that structure. Perfect.
Right.
That clarifies an awful lot. So that shows then, as you bring on more staff, more employees, more support, all from that structure.
Yep. Correct.
Thank you. Okay, next one, where you said in Poland, and so I'm going to follow this. You said this on stage. Follow it up here for the team. Did you decide how you are going to be live streaming trades, like on YouTube and Facebook?
Oh yeah. So basically, I showed you how the video wall was, right? In the video. So it's a very big L-shaped video wall, and the camera is going to actually shoot from the other angle side, and it's going to look straight into the room. Okay. You can see the traders there with the video wall showing the live trades. So we're going to actually live stream this either onto YouTube or on whichever, probably our own streaming service later.
Okay, that's fantastic. And just following on from that, a question that everybody's asking is that the reserve pool. When people are asking, will that ever be shown? How can they verify it's there? What clarification can we get around this?
Yeah, we will show the reserve pool very soon. Once the dashboard is out, you can actually see it from there itself. It's actually very much like how DAI is. You will see the total supply versus the reserve pool that is actually putting the assets to actually release the CTOs into the supply chain. So yeah, you will see all those figures when the dashboard is out.
Ronald, I've got a question. I know we've been talking about the SIM card that we're going to be. Can you just give only a few examples with the price? For example, somebody, let's say, paid $10 or $20, what he will get if it's unlimited, not unlimited, 1 GB. Have you decided something, or if you didn't decide, it will be decided on the event? Maybe we shouldn't talk about this.
Actually, I'm supposed to go for a meeting on Monday to decide this.
Okay, so let's move to another question. Or you want to add it? Ask the question.
Okay, another question here. This is going to be a very straightforward question, and before I want to just talk about this first. There's been we joined the project. It came from our uplines. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. We just got the information, and only recently, Ronald, in Poland, we were made aware of this. A lot of us in the team thought Career Plan paid infinite levels, and in Poland, we learned that the Career Plan pays down to 21 levels. Can you confirm that has always been the way from when the project started?
No, the project started with infinity. That's why you have 40% in payout. We kept it to 21 levels. So if you have a perfect tree, it's about 18.4.
Okay, now the question is, because when this was made aware to us in Poland, news to us, when did this change take place?
April.
April, okay. So guys, everybody on the call, because we have been doing webinars, myself and Matthias only become aware of this in Poland. So sorry for if we gave out wrong information. It was genuinely, we didn't know. So that was just a mishap that happened, but we want to just let everyone know on the call. So it's 21 levels. And guys, I'm happy. I'd rather be getting paid 21 levels for 10 years than be getting paid infinity for 6 months. Okay.
I don't think it can even last for 6 months.
I know. 2 months.
I agree with this. People also asking if we can have some more details in our app regarding the structures, level 3, how many members we have. Because
actually, it's a no-no because in many countries itself, just to be truthful, we are in the midst of getting the MLM license in Australia to be released. So once we get the MLM license in Australia to be released, then we'll take the same license to each of these countries that our members are in to apply for the MLM license. Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, and the rest. Vietnam, probably, I don't think we can get, right? So we have to follow our lawyers' advice to actually change it to become a rewards program. So that's why you see that we put rewards instead of anything else. And talking about the levels itself, right? We can't give you more than 2 levels plus yourself is third. To the first and then second and then third, right? But what we're gonna do is this, okay? We're gonna have a chat feature that can let you pull your entire tree into a chat room. So you will know how many users are there. You can actually see all the members, regardless of, let's say it's 4,000 levels down. You can even get all of these guys in, and you can actually chat with every single one of them. But every one of them won't be using their real name. They can actually use a nickname to represent the number. It's just like their address. So now you can have, for example, Matthias club token.
Dot millionaire.
Yeah. So you can actually you can create a 1 level down, 2 level down, or n levels in the chat group. So and this is one of the ways that we can hope to be able to let you communicate with your whole team effectively. One of the things that we want to resolve is the ability for you to communicate. Now I think it's very difficult because you've been relying a lot on people coming back to you, maybe on Telegram or something like that. We wanted to use a much more simpler platform that is dedicated for this. So there's one thing that we're working on as well.
Okay, Ronald, just going back in my previous question, a question came in there about the career plan. Does it start from the 21 levels? Does it start from the first level or does it start from level 3?
For where?
Like the 21%. Let's say if you're C1, you get 5% for 21 levels. Does it start from the first level or level 3?
No, from level 3 itself, it's 5% until 21. It's combination from 3 to 21. Okay,
so it's not from 1 to 21, it's 3 to 21.
Yep.
Okay, that's important. That's important, guys. Okay, Ronald, a lot of people have asked this, and especially for some parts of the world. I know you're bringing in Rogue and to help people that are not in a financial position to get into Javis. But would it not be a good solution or an idea to consider bringing Javis down to $250 to leave more people participating?
We actually thought about that. One of the things is we have this program called Project Holiday, which is about $250 US. But we had problems to actually generate yield to cater for a payout that is high enough for the members to see a good return. So and it's also quite dangerous for us. You know, the 16 lakes whereby you build 3 and then you have 13 which are funded but not touched, right? That is actually the supporting layer for us to actually ensure that the payout can be done, because whatever we're paying you is even out by the non-moving legs, right? So the whole secret of the perfect layer tree is there to actually even out each of the payouts. So if it's 250, you will have to have more than 21 levels. You have to have more than 16 legs. So you probably have to have 30 over legs, 40 legs. Then it's becoming like binary with so many.
Yes. Okay. I have a question here, right? I won't read all the question because it's a long question to do with Rogue. But basically, I know you haven't decided fully yet, but basically the overview of the question is like this. Let's say, for example, you raise 100 million, okay? And we're saying the profit, like, let's say the profit could be, let's
1.4.
say 1.4, okay? So what the question is this: instead of that going out to a draw for all of it, could you not, let's say, have 20% go to the reserve pool to back it up? Could you not have a percentage?
What we do is this.
Could you have a percentage that goes back into pay level 1, level 2, and level 3 for the people growing the community? So this way, everybody wins.
We have toyed with several models on this as well, but we try not to make Rogue to become a affiliate program yet, because we wanted to keep it as simple as possible. One of the things is we thought about this as well. So let's say, for example, you got 1.4% out of this 100 million, which is, we're talking about 140,000, I think so, right? Or is it 1.4 million? Yeah, 1.4 million, because it's 100 million, right? So 1.4 mil of 100 mil, 1.4 mil, if you were to choose, what we can do is we can actually give out 1%, and the rest of the 0.4 itself, we thought about this. Instead of giving back into the profit pool, okay, we are going to evenly give to the non-winners. So even though you put your money there, it's actually growing. But it's bit by bit, but it still grows.
Okay. And so you haven't come up with a final decision yet, but you're just finalizing it now, yeah?
Yeah. One thing is we try to make it sexy enough that when you put in like $10, you can actually get 100 times return or 1,000 times return if you're lucky, kind of thing.
Okay. So Ronald, let me ask you something, because we're coming, guys, just so everyone's on the call, we're coming to the end of the call. We wanted to keep this within the 90 minutes, okay? We want to have a lot of information in this. So just to finalize the call, a lot of people have asked us this, because I spent a lot of time talking to you, so did many leaders, and you've done very well in the dot-com bubble. You've done very well before financially with building phones. Obviously, you're in a very good place in your life. So the question is this: why did you decide to embark on this journey, wanting to develop such a massive ecosystem and help so many people create extra streams of income? Okay, like, where did all this come from? Like, because you're a family man. We've all checked your Facebook. We see the way you are with your kids. So you starting this project is like nearly 18 to 20 hours a day for the next few years of your life. So why? The question is why?
I believe that actually it started when I was very young. Okay, I always wanted to make things that other people can actually enjoy to use. And one of it that I thought of was how good if I can actually design a phone that everybody would pay for and then use it, and I can have whatever that I want to be in there, that I like to be in there, so people can actually enjoy it. It started when I was like maybe 17, 18. And from that itself, all this journey, I managed to actually do it. I dropped everything that I built in Malaysia, which was quite a lot of leads, contacts, and stuff, to journey into Hong Kong, and to learn how to make phones in Korea, and Denmark, and China then. And basically for the dream to actually launch phones that people would buy and use. And it's only when I actually started my own business out from this mobile phone business that I had got in touch with the Indonesian market. 350 million in population, 80% unbanked, and we were selling a lot of phones. I mean, not selling phones. We were selling a lot of our application to phone manufacturers or brands into Indonesia. About 9 out of 10 phones that is in Indonesia will have our app in there, and we always. And one thing that we did inside there is actually we did a data analysis on who actually bought the phones, and we can see that they are actually in very rural areas. And I actually went down to this rural area to see how things are, and there actually I made a decision. It was about 7 years then to really do a change, how to help these people. But I don't see it as a help. I see it as a very big opportunity, because look at it this way: nobody is able to reach them at all. If I can actually reach every single one, it's like, when I had this idea in China, I make 1 million phones, and if every day this 1 million phones can give me $1, I will have $1 million a day. You know this concept, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing like in Indonesia itself. I have 50 million phones running inside there. How can I get them to pay me 10 cents, okay, every day, right? Which we actually did. We did do something like that, and frankly, it worked for a few years. So it's really cool. And one thing we want to do was how to actually get the financially excluded to become the financially included. It's a very big piece of economy there. Okay, and I want to give all of these people a voice, yeah. So from there itself, it's been stuck with me to actually build something that everybody can use, and yeah, fintech seems to be the buzzword, and yeah, so happened that my company got bought over by a Singapore-based company, and there it goes.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so over to you there, Matthias, before we close up.
Okay, guys. Before we close, I want to thank you, Ronald, for the answers to our questions. Guys, myself and Paul, we organized the Zoom call with Ronald, and we asked deep questions. Not that we just want to ask Ronald this question, because myself and Paul, we know a lot of already these answers, because we've seen Ronald not long ago. We keep touch with Ronald all the time. But the Zoom call was created only for you, that you can have full knowledge after the call. The best, if this call, of course, is recorded. So after the call, you will get the recorded from this, so you can watch again, make some notes, so you will have more knowledge about this company. Don't read some informations like, for example, that CTO is created on Etherscan, on Ethereum blockchain, okay, because it's not true, and people keep asking us. So that's why we're asking Ronald very deep questions about the future, about the past, about what's happening now, only for your information. And Ronald, thank you so much for being with us, for answering deeply the questions. Paul, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Matthias, and thank you, Ronald. And guys, what I want to say on closing the call is this: a lot of people in the industry would always, let me ask a different question. Why are we all in this industry? Why are we here? We're here to make a difference. A lot of us have done very well in the industry over years. We don't need to do the MLM anymore. A lot of us are new to the industry. A lot of us are helping people. We're all here for different reasons. But if you want to succeed in this industry, the trick is this: get in and work with the people who are succeeding, number one, okay? Number two, come to the live show. If you haven't met Ronald in person, okay, if you haven't met the man behind the driving seat of this project, okay, well, then you're missing out. Is when you spend time with Ronald, spend a few hours with Ronald, listen to him, hear him, look at the integrity, you'll get belief in the system. Then when you go share this project with your friends and family, they'll see the belief. Guys, we have a huge event, 6,000 people. I never in my life was at a networking event with 6,000 people. The most I've been at was 2,000 or 3,000 people. We as leaders on this call, we invited leaders from all different groups here today. Why? We were talking to Ronald in Poland, and we want to create a philosophy from the top down. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. It doesn't matter if you're Superman team, Power team, Diamond team. We're here together, guys. We're here to help each other. So like, let's all come to the 5th of October for 6,000 people. Let's all meet together. Guys, we're involved in something very special. I have never seen a man driving a project with so much transparency. There's nothing to hide. Everything's out for all of us. So guys, it's up to each and everyone in this call. If you treat this like a part-time job, you get a part-time wage. If you treat it like a full-time job, it will change you and your family's financial life forever. So Ronald, a big thank you, and thank you for everyone for taking the time to come on the call. Guys, I see you all soon. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.